So I need to just let the basement know that we're going live. So that's why I'm up here talking, because we don't have our tech booth here. So Facebook people can go live.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ by highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord. Late in time behold him come, offspring of the Virgin's womb. Hailed in flesh the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity. Pleased as man with men to dwell, Jesus our Emmanuel. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of righteousness. Light and life to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings. Mild he lays his glory by, born that men that no more die. Born to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn born. Glory to the newborn, glory to the newborn King. Good morning, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So happy to be here. It's a lovely day out there. Welcome to the Christmas not sing-along. We're going to do Deck the Halls. And people at home, you can sing along if you like. No. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Unity of Calgary. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how time is flying, and here we are, almost at Christmas. My name is Susan Cullen, and I'm part of the spiritual leadership team here at Unity of Calgary. And for those of you who are here in person, a very warm welcome. And those of you who are on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you are in the world, we're so delighted that you've joined us here this morning. The most important thing, if you are new to our community, for you to know is that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are always welcome here at Unity of Calgary. So today is the fourth Sunday at Advent, and we represent Advent by our Advent candles and our evergreen wreath. And the evergreen wreath represents the everlasting light and the everlasting life that we all have. Each week, we have been lighting one of the candles, and this week, we light our fourth candle, which is joy. In telling the Christmas story, the gospel writers remind us that when things seem the darkest, joy can come in unexpected places and small packages. Children remind us of the joy of playing, of giving, learning, and loving. And in the presence of such joy, our own inner child can awaken our own Christ nature, for we are truly born into that energy. Christmas happens as we open to the possibility of hope, when we live in the understanding of peace, and when we give love. The joy that is Christmas, the birth of that Christ light energy within us, happens all the time, every minute of every day. And as the days get shorter and darkness seems to close in, we light the candle for joy to remind ourselves of the power and the presence within us. Then we celebrate the season with newfound glee. Let's begin with an affirmative prayer. I invite you to just gently close your eyes and take your awareness within. Connect to your heart, that place of love. And from this place, know that joy is possible in every moment. For joy arises when we see the beauty of the world, the beauty in our lives, the beauty in each other. And even though sometimes it seems that there is darkness, that there is no beauty, if we connect to our hearts and open up to that beauty, open up to that love, we will find the beauty and we will feel the joy. So know that this is within you, no matter what is happening outside. And so it is. And so we gather online and in person because we know that gathering together is so important. And I invite you to affirm our statement of being. We are here as love to celebrate the one power, the one presence in our lives, in this community, and in the universe. And next we have our daily word. And we had so much going on this morning that we don't have a daily word reader. Does anyone have the daily word? Anyone here? No, it's not the Advent thing. It's the daily word. All right, you know what we're going to do? We are going to affirm the daily word affirmation, which is joy dawns in my grateful heart. All right, well, let's move on. Unity of Calgary is part of a worldwide movement, and there are almost 900 centers around the world who are bringing together this people to discover, to find, and to celebrate spiritual awakening together. And we have adopted the worldwide vision. So I invite you to affirm it with me. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And how we do that here at Unity of Calgary is captured by our mission statement. I invite you to affirm it with me. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community that inspires hearts and transforms lives by expressing our divine essence. And we here at Unity of Calgary back each other up. And I'd love you to know that Bob Elwood is going to come read our daily word for us.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity. Our daily word today is joy. Joy dawns in my grateful heart. Joy to the world. The card echoes the joyous message proclaiming the Messiah's birth. Today, I feel this same triumphant joy awakening in me. I may have endured a long and cumbersome journey on the way to discover the joy that is alive in me, the truth of me as a spiritual being. I may have spent years denying my spiritual identity, thinking that fulfillment, wholeness, and abundance were for others and not for me. Now, as I've made the Advent journey, I have kindled my faith, felt the tranquility and comfort of peace, and received the soothing touch of deep and abiding love. Those gifts have led me to understand with deep gratitude that joy is mine to know, to feel, and to live. And Luke 2:10, but the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people."
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Bob. Yes, it's that time of year, isn't it, when we've all got lots going on. Okay, speaking of lots going on, here are our announcements. Next week, we have our Burning Bowl Letter to God ceremony. This is a beautiful dual ceremony to finish out the year. If you haven't done it before, it's the time that we allow ourselves to get clear of what are we ready to let go of. And then we replace that by sending our letter to God, which is a letter that we write from our future self about all the wonderful things and what our life is going to be like in 2021. This should be particularly interesting this year, I think, given everything that's going on. So we also have, so what we have is, if you are going to be here, we'll be doing the ceremony. Space, as you know, because of the government restrictions, is extremely limited. So make sure that you do sign up on Eventbrite so that we know who's coming, how many people are coming, and we can cut it off when we need to. For those of you who are at home, we want you to be able to enjoy the ceremony as well as the white stone ceremony. And so we've created gift packages. Actually, Laura, would you run and grab one for me? Thank you. We've created some gift packages, and they can be picked up by making arrangements. We've got one place in the south and one place in the north. So in the south, it's going to be picked up at Paul's house. And in the north, it is going to be picked up at Susan's home. So I see that there's a mistake on my script here. So if the, thank you so much. So in our little gift package, we have the Advent books. Let me just show you. So here's the Advent books, which finally arrived. So everybody who's here, I hope you picked one up. Yes, the oohs and the ahs that you can't hear at home. Yes, it's got the 12 Days of Christmas as well as some other inspirational writing. So it's not too late to catch up at this point. And then we also have our little package. This is our burning paper for you to burn at home. We have the letter to God, and we have our envelope. And we've been debating back and forth what the easiest thing is to do. So normally what we do is we collect all the letters and we hold on to them until December 1st, and then we pop them back in the mail and you receive your letter back that you wrote the year before, which is a really awesome, cool experience if you haven't done it before. So this year, we're going to leave it up to you. So we've got these packages that you can come and pick up at the 2 locations. All of this information will be on the in the newsletter and on the website as well. And so when you have completed the ceremony and you've got your letter, you can either make sure you've got your own address so that when we mail it back to you, it goes to the right place. You can drop it off at those 2 drop-off locations where you picked up your package, or if you prefer, you can just hold on to it, put it into a sacred place within your house, and then put a note in your calendar to remind you on December 1st to go and get it, and then you can open your letter and you can read it. And as I said, it's quite an exquisite experience. And then we also have our white stone for the white stone ceremony, which is going to be the first ceremony in January. So even if you can't be here in person, which most of us can't because of the restrictions on the number of people, you can still take part in all of these beautiful ceremonies. Okay, that was a long time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The thank you is for everybody who participated in our metaphysical Christmas candle lighting service last weekend. It was so beautiful, and I can't start to list everybody because it would take forever and all morning, and I know that you're excited to get on with our reading and our fun that we've got scheduled for this morning. So just a great big thank you to all those who brought your love, your hands, your heart to make our ceremony beautiful and so loving. I think that what we did was we set off a love bomb into the field. Did you feel it? I'm sure it rippled out from this building and all those who were watching at home. And know that that does make a difference. Right? That is what makes a difference, right? Being in that place of love, spreading that love and that joy out into the world, into the field. So a great big thank you to all those who participated, whether you volunteered or just showed up or whatever part you had to play. If you were at home and you were holding the space as well, that is what we need to transform this world. Okay. today is going to be another Zoom coffee chat. So at 12:30, there's going to be a Zoom coffee chat that's going to be hosted by Alara Payton, who is our prayer chaplain trainer. And if you want to get the codes for that, you can go to the website. And I also believe they were put into the newsletter as well. So you can go and check out the website to get connected and see how your peeps are doing, whether you're here or you're at home. So that's going to start at 12:30. Then, as I mentioned, our White Stone ceremony is on January the 3rd. Again, this is a beautiful ceremony and a tradition at Unity where we go into this meditative process and we are each given a word from Spirit for the year. And I won't tell you the whole story because you're going to learn all that on January 3rd. So I invite you to see if you can be here in person, and if not, we have our packages and you can absolutely do the ceremony at home. Okay, and we have a class starting up. Wow, there's a lot going on. Reverend Pat Ball is going to start the class, The Eye of the Storm. And I've taken this class. It's a wonderful class. And what it is all about is how to maintain your own integrity, your own sovereignty when the craziness of the world is going on. Craziness in your life, the craziness of relationships, whatever it is that's going on for you out there, how do we maintain that calm, peaceful, loving center within ourselves? So that's what this class is. It is going to be 6 Thursdays online, of course, from 5:30 to 7:30, and you can send an email to Reverend Pat Ball. There's information about this on the website and in the newsletter. Okay, that was a lot. And finally, where to find us. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Our website is a wealth of information. And one of the best things you can do is to sign up for our newsletter, which comes out once a week. And it is filled with not only information, but inspiration as well. So I invite you to make sure that you can find a way to connect with us, because connecting together is just so very important. Okay, so today, I love today. Today is all about celebrating families, stories, Christmas, singing. Unfortunately, we here can't do the singing part, but you at home can sing your little lungs out. So that's the bonus of being at home. So let's begin by doing a meditation and taking ourselves into that place of wisdom and love within us. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and let it go. Gently closing your eyes, taking your awareness to your heart. And you might want to just put your hand on your heart and feel that beautiful beating heart that sustains you 24/7. And I invite you to imagine now that you are actually breathing through your heart chamber. That each breath is moving through your heart, in and out. And I invite you now to think of a time of great joy and love. Whatever that memory might be for you, to bring that into your mind. And as you do, I invite you to once again feel the feelings of joy that you felt in that moment. And let let that joy vibration just run through and vibrate all the cells in your body as you radiate that joy out into the world. And from this place of joy and connection, I invite you to imagine that you have roots growing from the soles of your feet down into Mother Earth. Down, down, down. And I invite you to feel the support and the love of Mother Earth for each and every one of us. That she provides everything that we need to live a beautiful, healthy life. And I invite you to feel her energy rise up through those roots, grounding you, centering you, bringing you even more love. And allow that energy to rise up through your body, up your legs, through your torso, up your neck, into your head, opening up your crown chakra. And allowing the wisdom of the universe to begin to pour in. And taking a deep breath, just feel these beautiful energies flowing through you. Joy, love, peace, wisdom. For tomorrow in the solstice is the return of the light. And you are the light. You are the light of the world. And as you connect within, you connect and ignite that light. And taking a deep breath in, giving thanks and gratitude for all of who you are and all of what you bring to the world. Knowing that no matter what happens on the outside, nothing can touch this connection you have within. That you decide to bring your light into the world. And I invite you to once again bring your awareness back to the room, feeling your feet on the floor, your back in the chair, gently opening your eyes and looking at the beautiful lights who are all here today. And from this place of love and joy and connection, we get to enjoy stories and music for the Christmas season. So let's start with the band. Take it away, Vivian.
Thanks, Susan. It's beginning go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad will hardly wait to go again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, there's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing within your heart. Pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that will talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go, there's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart.
And our first reading is by two of Viviane's grandchildren, Allegra and Aurelia Martin. Here they come. Wait. There.
We are reading How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all that may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow's Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled, with his grinchy fingers nervously drumming, I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake up bright and early, and they'd rush to their toys. And then, oh the noise, oh the noise. Noise, 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 noise. That's the one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise.
Then the Who's young and old would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast and they'd feast and they'd feast, 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 feast. They'd feast on Who pudding and Who rare Who roast beef, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with the Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of the Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. And then he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat. And then he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With his coat and his hat, he looked just like Saint Nick.
All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since the reindeer are scarce, there were none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, and then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some empty old sacks. On a ramshackle sleigh, he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, get up, and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town.
All their windows were dark, quite snow filled the air. All the Who's were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed. And he climbed to the roof with empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. Where the little Who stockings hung in a row, these stockings, he grinned, are the first thing to go.
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant. Around the whole room, he took every present. Popguns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. He stuffed them in bags. The Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned up that icebox as quick as a flash, while the Grinch even took their last can of Who hash.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now he grinned. Grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and started to shove when he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd gotten out of bed for a cold cup of water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know that old Grinch was too smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. Well, there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child, and he patted her head and got her a drink and sent her to bed. Then the Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, and he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
Then the last thing he took was the log of their fire. Then he went up the chimney, himself, the old liar. On the walls left nothing but hooks and some wire, and one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's houses.
It was 15:15 dawn. All the Who's still abed, all the Who's still asnooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsels, the trimmings, the trappings.
3,000 feet up on the sodomite crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to those Who's, he was Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will cry, boo-hoo. That noise grind the Grinch. That's simply I must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear the sound rising over the snow. It started in low and started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was very merry. He stared down at Whoville, and the Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise.
Every who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or the other, it just came the same.
And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could this be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled for 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food and the feast, and
He himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
Right, well, thank you very much from our wonderful readers. Maybe give them another round of applause. Job exceptionally well done. Thank you. So, hey, it's coming up on Christmas. How about that? Seems like we had one of those last year, too. Every year around Christmas, we have the opportunity to get a little bit reflective, be a little more open to the people around us, and just generally, I think, to behave a little bit better than we do some other times during the year. So the song I'm going to perform for you is called Golden, and it's really about encouraging everybody to maintain that Christmas spirit throughout the entire year, and not just those few days when we think Santa might actually be paying attention. So again, Golden. Clear
Thank you, Doug. That was marvelous. Merry Christmas, everybody. My name is Brenda Hall, and I will be reading to you The Spirit of Christmas is in the Air by Francis Folks. The spirit of Christmas is in the air. Men, women, and children everywhere are feeling a touch of the Christmas spirit. Whoever tunes into the spirit of Christmas and sends forth its message of peace and goodwill again receives his message from those who also have been open to receiving it. So it becomes a universal spirit, constantly giving forth from one to another, which is uplifting, inspiring, and joy-giving. The spirit of Christmas is in the air. Have you become receptive to it? It is being broadcast from the hearts of those who have caught its message of life, love, peace, and joy. It is being broadcast to everyone. We hear it in the voices of people as they speak more kindly and more joyously to one another. There's a lilt to the voices. We hear as we pass along the street, as if a heart song were being released. The spirit of Christmas is in the air. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Holiday style in the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile, and on every street corner you'll hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of streetlights, even stoplights, blink up bright red and green
from Eric Butterworth, and that letter would have a nice stamp on it. My gift to the world. I am mindful of the great need to give of myself to the world in gratitude for a life of many blessings. I give you a new spirit of freedom, not so much the freedom to do what you want, but the freedom to become what you must. I give you the spirit of opulence, the freedom from the fear of poverty, and the courage to lay claim to your divine inheritance in the kingdom of God. I give you the key to the prison doors of fear and worry, the padded cells of guilt and unforgiveness, and the dark dungeons of despair and futility. I give you the blessing of healing and the realization that you can never be less than whole, and the perception to see yourself as God sees you, whole and perfect. Now, I give you the knowledge of how to live forever, not so much in the length of years, but in the depth of livingness. I give you the inexhaustible resource of love, the ability to know its nature and rightly use its energies. I grant you the discipline to have and to live continuously in the consciousness of love, which will heal your hurts, harmonize all your relationships, satisfy every longing of your heart, and fill you with a life of abundantly goodness. I give you the contagious influence of joy with which you may infect all persons with a new dimension of abundant living. I give you the peace that passes all understanding. Out of this will dawn the awareness that world peace begins within the individual. With this universal discovery, wars and rumors of wars will fade from the memory of humankind, and people will get on with the business of living and loving and growing. From the Eric Butterworth collection. By the way, his first name was Wilfred. Now you know why he uses a second. Thank you.
Long time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible say, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new King born today, and we shall live forevermore because of Christmas Day. While shepherds watched their flocks by night, they saw a bright new shining star. And then they heard a choir sing, the music seemed to come from afar. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new King born today, and we shall live
Good morning. My name is Sophie, and I'm going to be the last person telling a story today. I found it interesting that listening to all the other readers and all the stories and songs, that everyone is talking about the Christmas spirit being in the air. And I've been wondering myself this last week, what is this? What is this thing that is in the air? So yesterday, I turned to my friendship book, which I read every morning along with the Unity Affirmation. And for Saturday, December 19th, it says, "The music of Christmas is laughter. The warmth of Christmas is friendship. And the spirit of Christmas is love." So there I got my answer. I want to tell a story, and I might have to do it Newfoundland style, which is very quickly. But many of you, maybe most of you, have heard the story of the Christmas truce that took place during World War I. It was 1914, and this was supposed to be a short war, and the soldiers had all been told they would be home for Christmas. But here they were. It was Christmas Eve. They were miles away from home. The German soldiers on one side and the British on the other side of what was then known no man's land. It was a strip of land, sometimes no more than 100 feet wide, that divided the troops on the Western Front. It was bitterly cold. There was frost on the ground. The soldiers in their trenches were often treading in water. They were covered in mud. Some were getting frostbite. And the thing they had dreaded the most was facing them. They would not be home for Christmas. The night was eerily silent, when suddenly a sound was heard coming from the German side. They were singing. It was a German Christmas carol in their own language. And when they finished, the British started to sing one of theirs. And so it went on for a while until the British soldiers started to sing, "O Come, All Ye Faithful." And then the Germans joined in, singing along with them, but singing the same carol in Latin, because that is how they had learned it. And by the way, O Come All Ye Faithful was written in Rome in the 11th century, so it would have been in Latin. On Christmas morning, there are different reports of what happened. Some say that a German white flag was seen, or a white handkerchief. Another version says that a German soldier on the German side shouted out, "You no shoot, we no shoot." And so, gradually, they emerged across the cold ground to exchange cigarettes as gifts to each other, show each other photos that they had been carrying with them of their loved ones at home. Some reports say they shared food. And then, of course, there was the famous soccer game. Well, of course, they didn't play soccer. The ground was hard, and they were wearing big army boots. But somehow they managed to fashion a ball out of something, and they did play around at kicking the ball. In one veteran's report that he wrote later in 1930, he said that he was sure if it had been up to them, no more shots would ever have been fired. In 2014, in honor of the 100th anniversary, that is now a very famous story, a modern opera was staged, and I went to see it at the Jubilee Auditorium. It was very touching, very sad, but also very heartwarming. It was called Silent Night. So again, what was that spirit of Christmas that was in the air that night 116 years ago? And now, because I've been told I have time to read what I was intending to read, I want to tell you another story that happened in 1940. The Scottish pilot of a Spitfire was fighting a German aircraft over France, and he was about to fire at an already stricken Messerschmitt. I hope I said that right, Messerschmitt, I think, when he noticed a pair of white baby's booties hanging in the plane's cockpit. Realizing in that split second that the German pilot was a father like himself, the Scot lifted his finger from the firing button, and the German lifted his left hand in grateful acknowledgement. As he did so, the Scot noticed, they must have been pretty close, the Scot noticed that his third finger was missing. Years later, in 1950, the Scottish pilot and his wife and children were having a holiday in Bavaria when they met a friendly family from Bremen. You can guess where this is going, right? The German father began to tell that he owed his life to a Spitfire pilot, at first not realizing who he was talking to. And the Scot looked down at the missing third finger. And from there on, henceforth, the two families became firm friends. In 1980, the German's granddaughter was married to the Scot's grandson. So there, the spirit of Christmas was literally in the air, and it wasn't actually Christmas, which shows that we should be able to keep the spirit of Christmas all the while. And now, because poetry is such a big thing this year, I don't know if you've noticed, but everybody is either writing poetry or reading poetry. And so I'm going to finish just with a Victorian poem called Christmas Morning. So now God bless us, one and all, with hearts and hearthstones warm, and may he prosper great and small, and keep us out of harm, and teach us still his sweet goodwill this merry Christmas morn. Merry Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. I have to say, I really miss everyone not singing along. And this one, Doug and I are going to do. It's a really great tune, and I think you've probably all heard it. It's Bing Crosby and David Bowie, Peace on Earth and Little Drummer Boy. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Wow, how fun was all that? Yeah, super fun. So a big thank you to all our readers, Allegria and Aurelia. I hope I said those names correctly, almost. Close? Close enough? All right. Brenda Hall, Cecil Wontner, and Sophie Mann. Big thank you to you all for bringing your presence and your love and your reading. And of course, to Viviane Martin, our assistant music director, and the Unity Band. And Doug Warren for his beautiful solo and duet as well.
Thanks, Susan. And thank you to all the folks who are making this happen online.
Yes, of course, the tech team who is working hard and downstairs doing all the production to get this out into the world as well. All right, yes. So now we enter the time of conscious giving. Together, using our time, our talent, and our treasure, we create this beautiful space where we can come and gather and we can broadcast out into the world, because we're limited at the moment by the number of us who can gather, with the restrictions, of course. So thank you for your love offering donation and for being part of this heartfelt work. For we know that this community is a blessing and that financial abundance is flowing our way. It's also that time of year, for those of you who are looking at your giving for the year and deciding that you want to top up your giving, there's always that opportunity as well. For those of you who are here in the room, there is a heart basket at the back that you can place your donation into, your love offering into. And if you are at home, you can do it, make a donation by e-transfer, or you can go to our website and there's a donate button there. And if you want to do it the old-fashioned way and write a check and put it in the mail, you can certainly do that too. So my understanding is that all donations received by January 3rd, which is the first Sunday in January, up till that point will count towards 2020. So if you're looking for that tax receipt, that's where you can. That's how you can figure it out. That's your time limit. And of course, the e-transfers go to donate@unityofcalgary.org. So I invite you to either have your donation, your love offering in your hand, or imagining what it is that you've already given online or are planning to give, as we affirm our abundance affirmation together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now the band will play Give with an Open Heart.
I'm gonna give, I am grateful for this moment. I am grateful for my life. And I trust that a higher power will always be there to provide. That's why I give with an open heart. That's why I give with an open heart. Oh, I'm gonna give with an open heart. Yeah, I'm gonna give with an open heart.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And we are all so blessed. And we have our blessing for the children the beautiful children who are here in the room with us today, the children of the world, and our very own dear inner child. Please affirm with me. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And now let's take a quiet moment and bring to our awareness anything that we want to surrender into prayer. For we know that turning it over to Spirit opens the way for abundant blessings to unfold in ways that we can't even imagine. Our prayer box is here, and there was pieces of paper that you could write on to write down your prayers, put them in the box. If you're online at home, you can go to our website, and there's a prayer button there that you can submit your prayers online. And all the prayers that we receive are held in love here for 30 days, and they're sent down to Silent Unity down in the States, and they're held for 30 days as well. If there's something really big going on in your life and you need some really important, urgent prayer support, Silent Unity down in the States does have the prayer line. It is 1-800-NOW-PRAY, which is 1-816-969-2000. So if there's something that's going on that's troubling and you need some support, I invite you to phone down and get that support from Silent Unity. We also hold in love other Unity communities across Canada who are bringing this message of love and spiritual awakening. And this month in particular, we are holding in love Unity Center of Montreal. We see them having the love and support they need to continue cultivating the consciousness and bringing the message of unity into their community. So let's take a moment and affirm the prayer of protection together. The light that is God surrounds me. I am the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am the love. The power that is God protects me. I am the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen. And another song from Viviane Martin and the Unity Band.
All right. And if you feel the need to stand up in place and shake your booties, just either one.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. While shepherds kept their watching o'er silent flocks by night, oh, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Whoa, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds feared and trembled when low above the earth rang out the angel chorus that hailed our Savior's birth. Oh, go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
All right, and as we finish today, I just want to, what just dawns on me is the message that we received over and over from all the stories and readings this morning is that love transforms everything, even the Grinch's heart. Right? And if it can transform the Grinch's heart, it can transform our world. And we are all the lights of the world as we go out into the world. That's what we can do for the world. That's who we are meant to be. To share that love, to share our light, and to grow and be all of who we are. I love that, Cecil. I've never heard that before. The freedom to be, to grow and be who we need to be, right? Not to do what we want to do, but the freedom to grow and be who we need to be in this world. All right, so for our last song, I invite you just to stand and put your hands over your heart. And instead of doing our regular song that we do every week at the very end, today we're going to sing, well, we are not going to sing, we are going to hum. You're going to sing it in your mind at home. Knock yourself out. You are going to sing, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Love to you all, and we will see you next week for the Burning Bowl Letter to God ceremony.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year, all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together. If the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Merry Christmas, everybody.